Hey everyone, it's Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com. It's time for another Empties video. In these videos, I give some quick reviews for products that I finished, usually in the last 2 to 4 months. Just depends on how my filming schedule works and when my little area where I put the empty packages or empty containers, how full that gets. Once I run out of room, I tend to shoot a video. The reviews for each product are pretty brief, but I will put links in the description box for full articles if I have them on my blog, KBeautyHobbit.com. For the sake of time, I just do very brief little reviews here. Otherwise, we're going to be spending hours and hours together, which I don't mind, but you probably don't have time for that. These are in no particular order. The first one is I'm from Beet Refresh Pad. It is a toner pad. They use a very special and very different material for these that holds a lot of liquid. Each one was fully saturated in the toner, but to me, this toner actually felt more like an essence or a serum. It wasn't watery, it was quite viscous. And while I really appreciate a fully soaked toner pads, these were very wet. If I use them as a little DIY mask, like a sheet mask, and put toner pads on my cheeks and on my forehead, sometimes on my chest or neck, these would drip that toner or essence down. If I picked one up out of a jar, it would be dripping, and sometimes the way that I like to use toner pads is in the morning, just as a quick little wipe down to get some of my nighttime skincare routine off. I don't wash my face in the morning, but these were too wet to do that unless I squeezed out some of the serum first, and that kind of felt wasteful. When I was done with the actual pads themselves, there was a good, probably like an almost a half an inch or like a centimeter of the serum left on the bottom, and I ended up just spreading that all over my body and then covering that with a body cream or sealing that in with body cream. It's not a bad product, it's just not what I like in my personal toner pads, but if you have very dry skin and you want as much hydration as possible, if you're using these at night, that might be a good option for you. For me, these weren't bad and I finished them, but it's not my favorite toner pad. Next is Dr.Ceuracle Tea Tree Purifying 70 Toner, clarifying, soothing, and hydrating. At the time that I had this, I had enough exfoliating products in my routine. I was using Tread, didn't really want to use this also, but what I did with it is I used it on my scalp before shampooing. Just spritz it on. It doesn't spray, but it would come out of here as a liquid. I would just directly on the scalp, kind of saturate everything, rub it in, sit in the tub for a little while, wash my face, watch some YouTube, whatever, and then shampoo. And this really helped reduce the oil production in my scalp. I know a lot of the people really love the ordinary glycolic solution for that, but that didn't impress me very much. I felt like this was working better. The reason I stopped using it, well, first of all, I ran out. Second of all, I use Rogaine now. I have a whole video about hair loss and all these things, before and after pictures, all of that good stuff. But Rogaine, when I first started using it, it did create some irritation. My skin got used to it and it's fine now. But I feel like Rogaine minoxidil is exfoliating or like slightly maybe drying. I don't have any complaints about it. My scalp isn't dry, uncomfortably dry, but it's also not really greasy anymore. And so I don't have a need for a scalp exfoliator anymore. Plus, it takes months and months to see Rogaine effects and to fully adjust to it. I'm finally now adjusted to it. Maybe at this point I could reintroduce some sort of scalp exfoliator. But this product before minoxidil worked really well for me. And so if you have an oily scalp and you're using something to try and exfoliate it, or if you want to try something to reduce that sebum and have gentle exfoliation, maybe try this. I really enjoyed it, and for me this is better than the ordinary glycolic acid. This was one of the weirdest cleansers I've ever used. It's a Rinology 95 Blue Cleansing Gel Balm. You can still see a little bit of the remaining product on the jar, but it really looked like one of those 99-cent colored hair gels. Of course, it smelled nicer and it worked better. It's not a 99-cent product either, but just that feeling of like a clear kind of gel-like substance that's slightly tinted. The strange thing about it, and I never really did figure out if I like it or not, it doesn't emulsify in a traditional way, and it doesn't liquefy in a traditional cleansing balm way. This is a first step cleanser, or I think it could be an only step cleanser, but for me it was a first step cleanser. But as you rub it on the skin, this has a lot of glycerin in it. and it wouldn't really melt the way cleansing balms do. Cleansing balms get kind of oily in a good way and liquefy, and then when you add water they turn white and they rinse off. This one never got oily or liquefied. With addition of water it did turn white and rinse, but I don't know, and it on the eyes it didn't feel super great. If I used it to remove eye makeup, it just, the feeling was strange. I much prefer cleansing balms and cleansing oils, but this photographed beautifully. I did backlit photos with natural light next to a window, like against the window, and the light was shining through that gel. I know that was cool. That's not a reason for like normal people to buy it, but when you do product photography, at least it made for a cool shot. But I would not be getting this again. But it wasn't bad either. Obviously, I finished it. It wasn't bad. These two were much better. Let's start with this one. This is the Hatalaba Oil Cleansing. It's a crowd favorite. I think I've included it in my viral products, whatever. I have this series where I talk about overhyped or really popular products and give my own subjective opinions on them. And I think this one was in it also. If it wasn't, I'll tell you now, worth all the hype. So good. Liquid, but not runny, not too liquid. Works really well, gentle, takes off all skincare, whatever, makeup, sunscreen, doesn't irritate the skin, priced pretty affordably, and you can get refill packs for this. Very, very good cleansing oil. This one is also Japanese. This is the Pharmaact Cleansing Deep Cleanse Oil for day or night. This does not have as wide of an application as the Hatalaba. Hatalaba, I think, would work for all skin types, even sensitive skin, unless you have some specific allergies. This one probably would not work for very sensitive skin because it is quite heavily fragranced. To me, it smells like gummy bears, and it is amazing. This is quite thick, much thicker than Hatalaba, but it's still easy to massage around the face. This was my second bottle. They do sell refill packs, but at the time that I was shopping, I can't remember if it was like cheaper per ounce to buy the bottle, or maybe they were out of refill packs. And I can't remember why I ended up with a second bottle versus a refill pack. Maybe I threw away or recycled my first bottle. I don't know. Skincare amnesia is real, especially when you have a blog. But this is one of my all-time favorite first cleansers. It gives me so much joy. And yes, it is very heavily scented, but once you rinse it off, doesn't leave any scent behind. It's just so good. I really like it. And if your skin can tolerate fragrance things, please try it. It's so good. This product was weird. I wanted to love it. It was pretty. This is the Sandawha Camellia Flower Antioxidant Cream Mask. This was not creamy at all. It's a gel mask. Really large chunks of what I assume is the camellia flower in it. Large to a point of being impractical. If they would grind up a little bit into finer pieces where you could still see the chunks, if that was what they were going for, but the way that the pieces were in here, it would be like hanging off my cheek, just this big piece of flour. So weird. I don't know. It was a tiny jar, 50 gram, 1.76 ounces. It came to me in a Face Story box like ages ago, and I never opened it. And then it was getting close to its expiration. Well, no, it's not close to its expiration date. It would have been okay until 2024. But still, I had it for a while, and I thought I'd finally open it and use it, and like, it was fine. If this was the first wash-off mask you ever tried of the gel variety, you might be impressed. I just wasn't very impressed. It made good pictures, but it's not, I don't know. I used this up fairly recently, I want to say in the last month, and I already don't remember exactly what I thought of it because it literally didn't make an impression, bad or good. It was just meh. I remember the huge chunks that I didn't like, and it didn't really do a ton for my skin either. I do have a full review if you do want to read that. I'll put a link in the description box, but in general, not the best. This though, this is the best, and if you haven't tried it, you should try it. This is so good. I'm from Honey Mask. It's my second, third, fourth, I don't know, a billionth jar because I almost always have it, especially in the fall and winter. And I know some people don't like it, but it's my favorite. First of all, smells like honey. Not artificial honey scent, but it smells like real honey. Second, it's a wash-off mask, but it's not cleansing or exfoliating or like pore control or sebum control, because that's how most wash-off masks are. This one is a nourishing wash-off mask. So imagine it's winter, you live in the Midwest where the weather changes every 2 days so bad that it gives you whiplash, and you don't know if you need to run AC or heat half the time, and your skin is just slowly just cracking and crumbling into dust. And then you fill up your tub with water that's way too hot, and you're supposed to do lukewarm showers, but no thank you. If it's not burning, I don't want it. Hot bath, you wash your face and you just melt into it after a long day of working and parenting, and you turn on a YouTube video and you put this on, and it just envelops your face in this layer of love and honey and nourishment. I should be in their commercials. And then you rinse it off, and it leaves this layer of just softness. It's not a sticky or greasy layer or anything, but you definitely feel like that it left behind a layer of something, like a little protection. And I doubt that a watery toner would necessarily be like super useful after this, because this leaves some kind of like something behind on purpose. So I just put on cream after this and I go to bed, and by morning my face is soft and it's smooth, and all the little dry like crackly areas are taken care of. My skin is combination, so I have oily T-zone and dry everything else. I can have both flaking and oiliness all at the same time, and if my skin is dehydrated, it gets oilier in the T-zone. It's fantastic. I call it revenge oil. This somehow doesn't overwhelm my oily areas, but it still nourishes the dry areas, and it's the best thing ever. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. I love it, and I used to buy these long before I had a blog, long before I had any PR, long before I had a YouTube channel. This was still on my must-have list for like 6 years now. Next is Medicube HR Booster Gel. And this is a gel to be used with their HR Deep Shot. I think it's the Deep Shot device. I talked about that on my channel before, and I do have a review, and it was a sponsored review, but I love the device. Even if the review is sponsored, I'm always honest. I use this device all the time, and it makes my skin tighten up so nicely, and especially this like lower area. I even like it as far as like what it does for this jowly part, more even than microcurrent, even though I use microcurrent devices also. But this is the conductor gel. This is the gel that you're supposed to use with it. It's not that I don't like it. It is fine. It is nice and thick, and it doesn't move too much when you're using the device, because sometimes if you use a thinner, cheaper gel and you put it on and then you're using your device, sometimes the gel shifts and you can have like a little zing, especially with microcurrent. You can have some like zinging around the forehead where the gel is too thin. This doesn't do that, but it's still, for me, it's a wash-off product. The brand says that you don't have to wash it off. You can leave it on because it has some skincare benefits, but the way that I do my skincare with devices, I wash my face, double cleanse, put the gel, use the device, take off the gel, rinse it off, and then I do my toner and all the rest of the stuff like you would after cleansing. So for me, expensive gels don't make any sense, but I still really like this. I just think maybe instead of repurchasing this, I do have another bottle of this that I'll open, but I think after I'm done, I will go back to just using my regular like cheaper aloe gels because they work just fine, but this is definitely nicer. And I've tried the NuFace gel because I used to have the NuFace device that I bought myself, and the kit came with the NuFace conductor gel. That one I hated. That one was really thick and sticky and hard to rinse off and just gross. This one is good. So if you are in the position to splurge a little bit and you want to try like a dedicated gel that's made specifically for the device, this one is really good. But for me, with my personal budget, I usually tend to go for cheaper ones. Although I haven't checked the pricing on this. I will check a price on this. Maybe it is not that more expensive than like the aloe gel that I usually buy. When I got this Primera Miracle Seed Essence, when I showed it in an unboxing video, so many people wanted to see what I thought of it. It was like one of those things that I think people just were interested in, and so many people asked me about it, and somehow that created this expectation that this would be a good product in my mind. When people are asking like, hey, how is the Primera, how is the Primera, how is the Primera, I thought, well, maybe that means that it's a well-known product. I haven't really heard of it, but I thought, well, maybe it's going to be good. No, it's not bad. It's fine. It's hydrating. That's about it. The packaging is beautiful. It's glass and it has this embossing on it. And I'm sorry, something leaked in my Empties bag, so this is a little wet. I think it's that I'm from Beet pads. They probably still had serum left. But now everything is sticky, but whatever. Anyway, this just didn't impress me. I used it up. It's fine. It photographed well. But it's just, it's nothing I would go and try to get again. It just kind of felt like fancy water, to be honest. And it's not cheap either. But I think they're better products for that price. This product's name is funny. Derma Stretch Mark Safe Cream, like it's safe for my stretch marks. I think what they meant to say, yeah, it says Stretch Mark Prevention and Relief Cream. It's too late for me to prevent stretch marks. I have stretch marks. As far as relief, this is just a basic moisturizer. And if you're actively going through some sort of growth stage, like pregnancy, where your stretch marks are actively forming and your skin is itchy, a cream can bring relief, yes, but nothing topical will really help with stretch marks. You want to protect them from the sun, just like the rest of your skin. Time does make them look a lot better. They lighten up, and there's some procedures I think that you can do in office, like laser resurfacing, etc., if you really are bothered by stretch marks. But as far as preventing stretch marks, I really don't think anything will, and I really wish brands would stop marketing things that way. I feel like it creates insecurities, especially disproportionately in women, even though stretch marks can be on men as well. My husband has a lot of stretch marks, like on his lower back from growth spurts, on his shoulders from growth spurts, but somehow most of the time stretch mark prevention or treatment creams are marketed specifically to femme-presenting individuals, and I don't like that. The cream itself was good. It's a light moisturizer. It's not greasy. Didn't have a strong smell. I think if I had it when I was pregnant, it probably would have worked for me just fine. Also, just as a basic moisturizer, not as a stretch mark preventer. Because a lot of what happens with stretch marks is genetic, hereditary, but also it all depends on how quickly you're growing or gaining weight, or how quickly your stomach is growing when you're pregnant. And a lot of those things we can't control. Honestly, there are so many worse things than stretch marks in life, and I would never tell people that they should stop caring about stretch marks. You have body autonomy. If it really bothers you, I do think that there are some treatments available more in the medical setting than an at-home product. But I just wish things were not marketed so much to women as stretch mark prevention. Stretch marks are a totally normal thing. They fade and become white with time, especially if you're not doing sun exposure. And I wish we didn't make such a big deal out of it, because it's normal things that we are fighting so hard against. I am honestly so tired of being in constant battle with my body, with the size, the shape, the look, the everything. Because bodies, like, you're not a body, you're a soul, you have a body. This is getting really off track, but you know what I'm saying. I wish basically that this would just say that it's a moisturizer. It's a moisturizer, and that's it. I wish they would take away the stretch mark stuff off of it, because you can't prevent stretch marks with moisturizers. Stretch marks are tears in the skin. No moisturizer is going to prevent that. Okay. Off of my soapbox. Good moisturizer though. If you want just a good body cream, this is a good one. By Me Bye Bye Blemish Vita Brightening Bubble Cleanser. It's so bright and happy. I have a very complicated relationship with By Me, as in I really, really hate their miracle line, the green stuff, the AHA, BHA, PHA, 30-day, the longest title ever line, because it smells super strongly of mint, it is full of potentially irritating ingredients, and it's marketed for sensitive skin, and I hate everything about that. I really like their yellow stuff. I like their eugenicin serum. I went through a whole bottle of it. I really enjoy that. I love this cleanser, and it's a fun one. You apply it to dry skin, and it starts out as a gel, and once you apply it, it kind of foams up and bubbles, and then as you add water, it bubbles a little bit more, and then it just rinses clean. It's like a one-step thing. My favorite time to use this was in the middle of the day after a workout, if I was really sweaty and I was going to shower, or sometimes I would use it at night on days that I didn't wear makeup, because on days that I do wear makeup, if I have eye makeup like I do today, I would want to start with a cleansing oil, but this really is supposed to go on dry skin. So if I do a cleansing oil and rinse it off and then put this on, it still worked, but it didn't bubble as fun or as much. But it's a good product. I don't really know if it's going to do anything for blemishes. I don't have a ton of blemishes. Of course, today I do. The day that I need to film a ton of videos, I have like a third eye right there. But yeah, it's a good cleanser. Maybe not a daily one. I can see how it could potentially be irritating to some people, but for my skin it works just fine. I like it. This is one of my favorite cleansers. It's a sample size, but I've had this in a full size also. This is Klairs Gentle Black Facial Cleanser. Very, very good. A really good travel cleanser because it's gentle, and sometimes when traveling, skin does its own thing, especially if you're flying or getting a little more sun than usual and you just need something really, really gentle. Love this one. It's a second step cleanser. Really good, very effective, very gentle. Nothing bad to say. Try it if you haven't. Skin 1004 Madagascar Centella Hyalu-Cica Blue Serum. Very long product names are in fashion right now, I think. This is one of those gel-like serums. This could almost be a moisturizer. It's nice when my skin is extra dry or just needs that a little extra oomph. It's not my favorite Skin 1004 product, but it's a good one, and I would use it again. I actually think I have more of it somewhere that I haven't opened yet, but it's not bad. It's not my favorite, but definitely a good option, especially if you have really dry skin or skin that's easily irritated and you want that soothing Centella, but maybe you need something just a little bit more nourishing than their famous Madagascar Centella Ampule, the one that comes in a clear glass bottle and it looks a little bit like a tan or like a little bit of a brown color. If you need something a little bit thicker than that one, maybe you would like this one more. And last but not least, before I go, because I hear my toddler's having a hard time, he's not alone, but still, it's not the best filming environment when there's crying in the background. This is a Secret Key Lemon Sparkling Peeling Gel. And I liked it. It is not the most gentle thing. It is definitely, it says mild lemon peeling gel. I would say it's not that mild, but it's not bad. And I still use it even when using Tread, but very, very occasionally. Before I introduced Tread, I used to do a peeling gel one time a week, sometimes maybe even twice a week. And then while I was getting used to Tread, I stopped all peeling gels. And then now I would maybe do it like every, I don't know, maybe every week and a half or so. But I'm actually right now using a different one. I have the Sun By Me Niacin peeling gel, and that one is really good. And this one wasn't bad. I don't dislike it. I just don't think it's universally usable by people with sensitive skin or maybe people with really dry skin. For my skin or anybody with oily skin, any resilient skin people probably enjoy it. But if you have more of a sensitive skin, I would skip this one. All right, time to go parent. The toddler is not having whatever is happening over there, so I'm gonna go. Thank you very much for joining me today. You can find me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, my blog KBeautyHobbit.com, or in my private Facebook group Korean Beauty Fanatics. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you so much.